Alright, running into this issue here when I put in the interior tub. If I'm going to align it the way it's supposed to be, right here, at the top of the window channel, just a little touch farther back, right about there, about there. That's going to work out pretty good, but if you look down here, the floor is up too high, the whole floor. Now to get this to line up correctly, I'm going to have to cut the floor off right here and separate it from that back piece, and then I'll end up gluing that entire rear seat and rear package tray way back there to the body here before even painting this whole thing. And so yeah, I'm gonna have to glue it in before I paint the body, so it's gonna get painted the body color, and then I'll go in there and paint it by hand, which is gonna be very similar anyway. It's just gonna be more of a matte black, like vinyl black, rather than the gloss black that the body's going to be. But yeah, this is getting hairier and hairier. I'm going to have to cut the floor off and separate it. Just making a note of that before I continue. Okay, so now I'm really getting in over my head. As I was saying, the floor was up too high, so I've cut the floor part completely off, and I have the seat there, and then there'll be a little bit of a gap there at the bottom. I'll just deal with that when I deal with that. And so now what's going to happen is this whole rear seat and package tray is going to have to be glued into the car before doing really anything else, because I've got to create a door jamb here. I've got a line kind of marking where I've got to cut off part of the inside tub, and then back here, this big thing that normally was going to attach the tub to the body is all going to have to be cut off so that I can make the trunk work. And I've drawn a line in there where I'm going to have to cut. So this is turning into quite a bit of work, and I hope I can make it look acceptable somehow. Okay, I've got that cut off now right there. That's lining up better. There's kind of a little nub there I'll still have to get off, but you know, that's going to be like as good as it gets. I'm going to have to fill in all that gap, and that will be something for later on. Just trying to get the seat in there at all right now. And cut the big piece off the back there. You can see it's right there. That was definitely going to be in the way. Now I can start working on getting this trunk lid on there. And that, of course, is going to be mounted to that underside of that package tray, because all I've got is this thin strip left of the body. So once this whole package tray from the rear, from the tub, is glued in there, and it's going to have to glue in on the sides there only. But that'll work. That'll work. And then, of course, the mount for the hinge will go right under there. So I don't know. Got to get this trunk. I'm running out of time, so I got to get this done quickly. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be pretty good. Okay, this will be the last segment in this update. Same old thing. Super slow motion building, which is what always seems to happen with me. Job just doesn't allow me to get a lot done. Start with what I'm doing here, filling in these door jambs that, you know, when you cut the body out, when they cut the door out, you got these big gaping holes here. You got to fill them up with something, so I put a piece of paper in there, and then I drew that out onto a scrap sheet of styrene. And of course you're going to need a number of them, because you're going to have to also make a door, make the you know, fill in the door because it's the same shape to get the panel onto the other end of it and so on. But that's going pretty good. It looks really rough now, and there'll be all kind of putty in there. Once all that's done, that'll look good, I hope. Basically, yeah, this being a contest, got in over my head on this one. Really got a little too overzealous, and I think because of that, I'll end up missing the deadline. But I will continue to build this anyway, even if I miss the end of the contest. Of course, what we got here is the chassis, just barely getting started on that, and over here, I'm just filling in some gaps there from where the body was going to mount to the chassis. There were these big connectors that went through those holes on the package tray that had to be cut off, but they made sinkholes, so I had to fill those in and sand those nice and smooth for when the final coat goes on. And then I think I had said that I'm going to leave, originally I was going to put those velocity stacks through the hood. I'm sure I've said this, but I decided not to. But because they have the cutout there, it made this indentation on the other side, so I had to fill all that in, sand all that in smooth as well, so that when, I think you can see that it is smooth now, and when it's painted, you shouldn't be able to see that. Engine's just starting to go together. I'm very behind. This is a 454, which I'm finding out 1970 was the first big block 454. So that's what we got here. I've drilled one spark plug hole with that tiny drill. This is a 1/32 inch drill bit, and I've got this beading wire that I'm going to be using. This was one of Jimmy's recommendations. I'll be using this as spark plug wire, and it turns out to be pretty much exactly 1/32 of an inch to fit in that little hole there. And of course, you know, I gotta drill 7 more holes. And what else we got? That's it, and that's the problem. That is all I got. So yeah, I'm gonna miss the deadline, pretty sure. But I'll keep these updates going. There might be some kind of miracle. I might get on a marathon building spree and get more done here. But there's a lot that's not done. And that will do it for this update.